Hi, my name is Ms. Haynes and I'm the scheduler for Newton North. Today I'm going to walk you through how to enter your elective course requests in Aspen. As a reminder, the window for entering these requests is Monday, March 14th, starting at 4 p.m., until Monday, March 21st at midnight. You'll need to start by logging into Aspen. Today, I've logged in a test environment as a fake student named Greg Brady. You'll click on My Info at the top, and then you'll click on the Requests side tab on the left side. Notice that requests will not be available to you until 4 p.m. on Monday, March 14th. So if you're watching this video and trying to access this component of Aspen before then, you won't be able to see it. When you first get to this page, you'll see two tables. The bottom one is called Course Request Adjustments. These represent courses that have been recommended for you by all of your teachers over the past 3 weeks. So you'll notice the course numbers, the course names, and their departments. And you'll also see potentially some comments. There aren't that many, but you might have one or two from one of your teachers. And you'll also see the teacher that ended up putting this recommendation in for you. Notice that all of these have my name because this is a test environment, but you should see your teachers. So this bottom table shouldn't change much after the 14th of March. The table on the top is what's listing the actual requests that you are making in Aspen that Aspen will then use to build your schedule once we do that in May and June and July. So when you first take a look at this, these two tables should be identical, but after you finish entering your elective choices and your alternates, you'll notice that the top table has many more courses. Something that you'll keep looking at as you're going through this process is this top section that tells you sort of a summary of what you have so far. So you can see that Greg Brady has 4 primary requests, which are these 4 courses that are already in his request list, 0 alternates, and he has a total of 48 credits. Once we click on entry mode up here, he'll be able to select courses that he would like to add in. And again, the same summary is listed at the top here to help you remember how much you've selected and how much more you might need. So Greg Brady is a rising 12th grader. This will look similar for 10th and 11th graders, but I'm using a 12th grader because there are some specific differences. So a few reminders will show up at the top. These are unique to each grade, but for 12th graders, in order to submit their course requests, they'll need to request a minimum of 1 course in PE Health and Wellness, 2 English alternates in the alternates section at the bottom, and a minimum of 72 credits. If students are requesting a reduced course load of 66 credits, you'll have to do this on a Google form that comes out later during the week where course selection ends. That's March 28th through April 1st. Your dean and counselor need to approve a reduced course load. Recommended courses are automatically going to become requests as soon as you go into entry mode. If you need to delete one of these courses, you have to see your counselor. You're not able to delete any of the recommendations that your teachers make on your behalf. Please remember to choose alternates. Though we try to make the schedules match all of your requests, we are often unable to do that. And so it's a good idea to have alternates in place so that way we can get you those courses early before they fill up. And all of these courses have to be put in by Monday, March 21st. So this top section is listing primary requests, and these are listed by department. So I know I'm going to need a PE Health and Wellness class, so I'm going to start there. I'll click on the Select button, and all the courses that are available will be shown to me. Notice that there might be more if you click to go to the next page because it only shows 10 courses at a time. The other thing you might notice is that you can't select every single course, and that's because if you've already completed a course, Aspen will not allow you to select it again. So as Greg is thinking about which PE class he wants to take, he will not be able to select fitness indoor or stress management again. To find out more about each of these individual courses and what they're all about, you can head to opportunities, and you can do that by looking at the Newton North website. So under the academics top tab, if you go down to course registration, you'll be able to find the course catalog opportunities as one of these side menus. And this is a PDF showing all the possible courses you could take and a little bit more about each of them. So we're going to pretend that Greg has decided that he would really like to take Unified Fitness next year. Notice that with PE Health and Wellness classes, there are spots for 2 alternates. You must select 2 alternates. Otherwise, we will select a course for you if you don't end up getting the PE class that's your primary request. So Greg is going to go ahead and select Unified Team Sports as an alternate number 1, and then maybe he wants to take coaching as his second alternate. Once you click OK, this will show up in your list of entries below. And you can see here the course number and then the first alternate and the second alternate. Up at the top, remember this is my summary, I now have 5 primary requests and I have a total of 51 credits. Direct alternates like this don't show up in the alternate count. They only show up, the alternate count only counts things that are in the alternate request table at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and select some other primary requests so that we can get up to 72 credits and I can show you a little bit about how to post. So let's say that I want to take economics. I can select that the same way I did for PE, health and wellness, and click OK. And then maybe I also want to take organic chemistry. I now have 7 primary requests and I have a total of 75 credits, which puts me over the minimum, and this will allow me to submit. To submit your courses, you could write a note for your counselor in the box below, by the way, but to submit, you'll hit post at the bottom. Now, if you haven't followed all of the instructions at the top, when you hit post, it might give you an error. So let's see how we do. In my case, I was not able to post because it says I did not request enough ELA 12 alternates. So that means if I'm a 12th grader in this alternate request section at the bottom, I need to go in and select my 2 English alternates. Otherwise, none of my elective choices will be registered by Aspen. So to do that, you can go in and select any of the 2 courses that you want from this list. Again, you'll need to go and scroll to make sure that you're seeing all the possible courses that are available. We do ask that you select alternates at the same course level as your initial recommendation. So I saw that I was recommended for a CP class for English. So I'm going to go ahead and select some other CP options here as direct alternates. Note that for priority, if you want to list, like say Lit and Comp as your first priority, you can change this 0 to a 1 and then change Contemporary Voices, if that's my second choice, to a 2. If you leave everything as 0, it will treat all possible alternates as equals. But if you do have a preference, please go ahead and number them, and Aspen will try to build them in the order that you put them in. So now I'll hit OK. And I'll see 2 ELA alternates pop up in my alternate request section. It'll show the priority, and it'll also show under alternate a Y for yes, which is different than the elective choices I made above, which are not alternates. If I want to select other alternate classes, I can do that. For example, if I don't get organic chemistry, if I put in an alternate here, then Aspen will automatically put that in for me so that I don't have to come to Arena and kind of figure out what would fit in my schedule come the beginning of the school year. So this list of alternates shows 86 classes representing all the electives that were available to me as a senior. To sort them by course number, you can click on course number at the top and then select any courses just as you would for all the other courses. And again, you can put in a priority if you would like to do so. So I'm going to pretend that I'm grabbing speech as an alternate, hit OK, and that will show up in my list below. Just as a reminder, the summary at the top, I still have my 7 primary requests. I now have 3 alternates listed, and I still have 75 credits. Note that my alternates here that I've added don't factor into my total credits. This is only counting my primary requests. And that's because alternates only get used if a primary request doesn't fit in your schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and click post again. And this time it says request posted successfully, which is great. So now when I exit the entry mode over here, I'm going to see everything that I selected in the top box. Remember, these are my requests that Aspen will use to build my schedule. So I see Unified Fitness, and I see the 2 direct alternates that I've entered for PE. I see Lit and Comp for College, which is an alternate, and this is my first priority. I see Hip Hop, the course that my teacher recommended me for. This is not an alternate, so this represents my primary request. And then I can see Contemporary Voices is another alternate. Speech is an alternate, and the rest of these classes are not alternates, meaning they're primary requests. Just to note that if you change your mind anytime between the window of March 14th to March 21st, you're able to go back into entry mode and make choices that are different. So if I want to say remove economics, if I go back in and uncheck the select box, economics will be removed from my schedule. Sometimes it takes my computer just a minute to do that. And that will show up Now I only have 6 primary requests and I'm down to 63 credits. So I will need to make another selection before I'm allowed to post again. But this does show that you're able to remove classes as long as this window is open. You can click post as many times as you want up until March 21st at midnight. After March 21st at midnight, counselors will be spending time reviewing all of your course selections. Your course selections aren't entirely final until Friday, April 1st at 4 p.m. At that time, which we call verification time, students are no longer allowed to make any changes to their schedule. But between March 21st and April 1st, changes are still allowed. In order to make any changes to your schedule outside of Aspen, you'll need to use the Google form, which you'll find a link for in Ms. Winston's email. This student course change request form is only to be used during our scheduling period between March 14th and April 1st. So while the Aspen window is open, you can use this form to add courses that you're not able to add in Aspen because they require a teacher recommendation, or you can drop courses that have been recommended by teachers because Aspen does not allow students to do that. After the Aspen window closes, this form can be used to drop or add any courses, including alternates and level changes. However, before that time, we would really like you to be making all the changes that you need in Aspen. We'll close this form at 4 p.m. on Friday, April 1st, and not accept any further changes. As soon as you submit this form, it'll be reviewed by your counselor, and they will decide whether or not they need additional permission before they can make the change in Aspen. If they need more permission, you'll probably be CC'd on an email between teachers, department heads, and your counselor in order to make those changes. You can view anything that we've changed in the Aspen Student and Family Portal under that Request Side tab. Please give us 48 hours to process any changes that you submit here because we expect the volume will be high and we might need a little bit of time to catch up. So to submit this form, you'll need your name, counselor name, and grade. And then there's a section for you to add or drop any courses. We request that you submit this form multiple times if you have multiple courses to add or multiple courses to drop. When you fill this out, you'll need to know the course name and number, which you can find in Opportunities. And notice that under the add, you have a few questions. We want to know if this is an alternate, whether it's general, a required 12th grade ELA alternate, or a PE health and wellness alternate, because that changes a few things about how we enter it into the system, or whether this is not an alternate. If you'd like to add a course as an alternate for another type of class, like for example, for economics, if you would like to add law and society as a direct alternate, you can do that. Just make a note here. This is yes, alt for 455 economics. You can submit level change requests through this form, and you'll need to select the yes button here, noting that this is a course addition that's actually a request for a level change. If you do this, I am including the level I am currently registered for and would like to drop in the course drop section below. I realize that my teacher and department head will need to approve. Expect that this will be a longer process than 48 hours. If you have a drop, you can put the name, number below, and at the very end, you can submit any notes to your counselor. As soon as you hit submit, they'll get this in a Google spreadsheet, and they'll be able to make any changes on your behalf. If you have any questions about how to go about the elective registration process, how verification time works, or how schedules get built, feel free to get in touch with your counselor. We look forward to building your schedules over the course of this spring and this summer and to welcoming you back to North next fall.